The official Marvel Tokon Twitter account has released a video showing a complete overview of recent changes made to the overall state of the game, and they are insane. One of the major issues that Tokon has had for the last two betas is that during beta number 1, people were not entirely satisfied with how it felt to play the game in ways such as calling in assists and being forced to use other characters, and how to actually unlock characters and proceed with the game state, and overall being incentivized to actually interact with the game mechanics instead of just doing solid fundamentals. And in beta 2, a lot of people felt that it didn't really change. Luckily, Arc System Works has taken all of those surveys that we submitted after the second beta and implemented a major amount of them. They really want to see this game succeed, and I'm happy to see it. So let's go over and break down all of these changes. The first change, and one that I personally didn't have a massive problem with, but understand the immense impact of, is the fact that the assist mechanic and the tag mechanic are now two unique buttons. Previously, the way that the mechanics work was that there was one button that you called out for your assist. If your directional assist was already out, then pressing the assist button in that direction again would swap you to that character as long as you were within the time frame window shown for it. Or if the directional assist was not out, you could hold the assist button and that direction to hard tag into that character. Now it seems like, either for combo stability or just an overall improvement to lowering the rate of people flubbing their buttons, they've now turned it probably into a full 8-button fighter. Interesting to see how people will take this, although I can't imagine it won't be anything other than mostly positive. The second change is reduced frames and animation time for tagging, and this one is also a massive change. In short, this is essentially a huge buff towards the startup frames of the tag mechanic and the assist mechanic. In the previous betas, a lot of times, how the more complex combo routes would work would be that when you were going to call in your assist for a very particular optimal route for a character, a lot of the time how the combo would either work would be you would be doing during a button and then plinking first your assist and then your button, or if you had enough time in the combo, pressing both the button and the assist at the exact same time would also help you extend that. In short, the way the assist startup frames worked was that you essentially had to sort of set up and queue in space for your assist to connect in the middle of the combo. Now, with this huge buff, these assists flow more easily into each other and slot way easier into combos. The third change is slightly confusing as I'm not exactly sure what is being quote-unquote canceled here. However, in the previous two betas, there was a generic rush assist that would come out whenever you press the assist button during your offense to help you extend the combo or block string in a pretty bog standard way. It's probably related to the fact that it's being done in block string here. Now, it looks like you can cancel your attacks to actually extend offense with particular assists for either block strings or to go for particular mix-ups. Huge change. Definitely going to be a massive upgrade to potential offense in the game in regards to pressure in both mid-screen and corners. Now, like how I was saying in my previous video, team compositions are actually going to matter immensely, and as far as the meta of the game goes, there's going to be particular characters that work better in other positions than others now because of how the offense is less streamlined and more tailored towards specific game plans depending on who you choose in what position and where they actually go. Big stuff. The next change is reduced assist hit stop and consecutive assists. This pretty much goes hand in hand with the previous change in regards to how the assist interacts with the opponent, but on top of this, you can see that the assist comes out pretty much immediately, that there's really no delay between each assist coming out and the actual attack that they do one after another. And on top of that, despite the fact that the danger in this video is constantly attacking, that there are non-rush assists being called out. Now, whether or not this means that the rush assist in this type of offensive scenario is gone entirely or what, we don't know. However, the last part of this is the fact that there are now consecutive assists that you can throw out all at the same time. So whether or not you're trying and planning to do some sort of crazy mix-up scenario or are just looking to throw stuff out to keep the opponent locked down, whatever reason, you now have way more control over your assist game than you previously did in the other betas. After that, we have two changes that we'll sort of talk about at the exact same time because the examples for both of them kind of go hand in hand with each other. And that is aerial assist condition changes and the fact that ground assist can now be used while you are airborne, which are two massive and critical changes to the overall game state. Previously, no matter what you were doing, if you were in the air, no matter what assist you called, whether it be the left, right, or down assist, they all did one neutral character specific assist that didn't really serve any purpose. They could be used for sort of wonky air-to-air situations if you manage to get them to hit an opponent, as well as certain combo extensions. However, the beta showed that not only was it more optimal to just go for your own air-to-air because of combo limit reductions and damage scaling, the assists were just super awkward to connect with in the first place. Extremely niche in situational options that were rarely used and overall just not considered a good thing. Now, you can see in this clip for the first part of the change that Wolverine has some sort of conditional where he calls Spider-Man when he's in the air and does Spider-Man's aerial assist, which is a series of downwards diagonal projectiles. However, immediately after that, he and Storm, both in the air, call their back assist and they come out as grounded assists. Now again, how exactly this works, we don't know. However, this will be a massive change. This is also an important flow into the fact that now when you're in the air, you have the ability to have assists that cover your air to ground approach, whether you're looking to go on the offensive or just looking to have a safe recovery, or even try to throw out the projectile that will catch somebody doing something that will send them sharply down, like a dive kick, or just falling on the ground in general, like how you see here, how the Storm assist ends up catching Danger as she's coming down with the Storm Wind projectile. The next change, which I personally think will be one of the biggest changes to offense, along with the change after this, is the fact that super skills no longer cause wall break. In the other betas, a lot of people felt that even though you got advantage in the form of additional meter and an additional character whenever you broke the wall, you started to see a severe amount of diminishing returns after landing a super at a wall. People were more incentivized to either not use a super in a section of the stage that had a wall transition at all, instead prioritizing meter to do particular extensions that kept them in the corner at the cost of not getting a hard knockdown. Or if they were fine with constantly staying transitioning, they would find themselves often having lost the advantage that they worked for because of the fact that they would be returned back to neutral after using the super. Now, with the fact that supers cause hard knockdown, aka the opponent cannot roll in any direction on wake up and is forced to do a neutral wake up, having the super keep you in the corner if it doesn't cause any screen movement at all is massive, because now you get your guaranteed Oki and overall more consistent offense, letting you keep your turn longer with meter usage instead of having to technically sacrifice your turn just because you wanted to get some extra damage in. However, even with this change, the concept of a wall break has now been changed to still give you just as consistent turn extension, with the fact that now wall breaks also cause hard knockdown. Again, as stated, wall breaks used to cause the character to enter a roll state and essentially be up and ready to fight as the offensive character landed, sending them both back to neutral and having the offensive player essentially felt like they've either spent meter or resources on hard earned offense for nothing when the opponent is given a chance to just simply free up to turn the tide again. Again, this just makes offense way stronger and way more consistent. Another thing that I think that this is actually going to get rid of is stage favoring. Whether or not it was during a bracket or just during online play, different videos you'd see on the internet or YouTube or Twitter or whatever, people would actively favor certain stages over the other, such as wanting to go to X Mansion or wanting to go to whatever the jungle stage was. I think it's Savage Lands. Because of the fact that it either had a lot of or no wall breaks in it whatsoever. So I think the fact that it is kind of given people the ability to actually more manageably track how they are breaking the walls and giving them an option to actually do so or not, will actually sort of remove that and make stages more of just a pick of, hey, I like this stage more than other stages because it looks cool, rather than, oh, I think I get some sort of particular home field advantage, or I think I get some sort of meta advantage because I'm choosing this stage, like we're playing Smash Bros or something. So just something like that, I think, is definitely going to make a change as well. The penultimate change shown in the video is the fact that link attacks, aka doing light into light into light, medium into medium into medium, or heavy into heavy and heavy, no longer works if you whiff it. One of the biggest statements about this game, whether people use it positively or negatively, was the fact that a lot of people felt that a lot of the game mechanically felt very similar to one of Arc System Works' previous games, Dragon Ball FighterZ. In that game, there's an auto attack sequence, just like in Marvel Tokon, where you can mash and mix the attack chains to trigger auto combos that would do default enders depending on the strength that you used. Also in that game is the fact that you could use your auto combo even on whiff. You literally could just completely mash out a light auto combo on whiff and have it do its launcher sequence and everything without ever connecting to the opponent. And ultimately, for that game, this was actually used pretty universally for some pretty decent, if not later on, unoptimal combo extensions where you could get like a vanish attack in the middle of a combo into a wall bounce. They would bounce to the opposite end of the screen and you would do a micro dash auto combo whiff that would make everything but the third hit of the auto combo whiff and catch them with just the launcher sequence and then extending it from there. But here, that has been completely removed. This change is definitely meant to help give players on defense or just neutral in general a better opportunity to counterpoke and just overall start their offense when an opponent whiffs a button so that the opponent trying to start their offense does not get to run it so completely for free. And finally, the last but certainly not least change that we're seeing in this video is the fact that aerial combo limit consumption has been reduced, and it looks like by a lot. While in the amount of time that it's been since the last two betas, there's been a lot of speculation over exactly how combo limit works and what increases it, with there even being several in-depth videos talking about and theorizing how it would overall work. The effect of the matter is that ultimately combo length was drastically shorter than what we're seeing now in this video when it comes to aerial routes. Most likely a rejump combo like this would not have been entirely possible, at least not to the extent that it is in this video. Now we're not only getting opportunities for more combo expression, but overall we're getting more bang for our buck when it comes to what we can do with routing in the air in general. Ultimately, I'm super happy with the changes in this video. The main takeaway from the past two betas was the fact that a lot of the time, people did not feel satisfied engaging in the offense of the game. Whether it be because of being force reset to neutral with wall break, or not really feeling a need to use supers for anything other than round closers, or even how they felt in relation to how assists actually work, people were just not overall excited for the future of the game offensively. Outside of how the characters work, that is. Mechanically, a lot of people just didn't feel excited pressing the buttons. While I like Marvel as an IP and was most likely going to play the game regardless, I'm not so much of a fanboy that I won't have the ability to notice when something is severely lacking in a particular area, and just like everyone else, I was noticing very muted offense. Instead of feeling like all my choices that I was making actually mattered, and everything I was doing was a set decision to help me create a specific game plan and a specific win condition of my own choosing, it just kind of felt like half of the time outside of neutral, I was going through the motions and eventually just won by overwhelming my opponent instead of actually being made to use any sort of advanced tactics to secure the win. Alright, that's going to be it for the video. With these changes, I think people who were thinking of looking at the game a lot more critically before deciding whether or not they were going to purchase it are going to look at the game a lot more favorably right now, as well as the people who are already invested in the future of the game. Genuinely very excited to see the future of the game on my end, and I think that the game could use a decent touch-up on its defensive features as well. However, already having stuff like universal counters is already pretty strong. However, I'm sure that the company has already taken stuff like that into consideration, because I know I'm certainly not the first person to say that maybe the defense needs to have something adjusted about it. People in the community were definitely mentioning it. And so far, they've proven that they are committed to taking community feedback into massive consideration. So if you have anything about the game that you think you want to see, be the change in the world that you want to see. Go ahead and either the next time that they have a beta with a survey available, or if they have a solo survey, go ahead and send them an honest message with what you want to see into the game. It's a good chance they'll actually see it and look at it with honest eyes. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure to comment, like, subscribe, and let me know what you want to see in the future. And again, hashtag Eric Brooks for Tokon. Put my boy Blade in.